Have you ever thought about what Hollywood looked like before censors started snipping every daring glance? Every secret romance, every scandal that made jaws drop. Picture an era when stars shone with more than just innocence. Villains could go unpunished, and the limits of sex, violence, and morality were pushed to astonishing extremes. This was all before the infamous Hays Code slammed the gates shut. Tonight, we explore 15 of the boldest and most provocative pre-code films ever created. First up, The Divorce, 1930. At the dawn of the 1930s, before studios locked themselves into decades of self-censorship, The Divorce burst onto the scene as a sophisticated, forward-thinking drama about infidelity, societal double standards, and women's empowerment. Norma Shearer, once the era's model wife and now a daring icon, delivers a powerful performance as Jerry Martin, who, upon discovering her husband's betrayal, refuses to silently endure her wounds. Instead, she turns the situation around, famously wagering her husband's best friend as an act of revenge that would have been scandalous just a few years prior. Shearer's Oscar-winning performance is the film's centerpiece, yet the off-screen story is equally captivating. Irving Thalberg, Shearer's husband and MGM's prodigy, had originally considered Joan Crawford for the role, but Shearer's audacious, seductive photoshoot convinced him she was irreplaceable. The original title, Ex-Wife, was deemed so provocative that even pre-code censors hesitated. Today, The Divorce remains a landmark in early Hollywood, highlighting changing gender dynamics with witty dialogue, lavish Art Deco sets, and a storyline that refuses to punish its heroine for defying conventions. It's not just a product of its era, it's a challenge to it. The Sign of the Cross, 1932. When Cecil B. DeMille created The Sign of the Cross, he was already renowned for merging biblical spectacle with a taste for scandal. The result is a lavish, over-the-top epic celebrating Roman decadence, never avoiding scenes that would later alarm censors. Claudette Colbert's iconic milk bath as Papilla remains one of pre-code cinema's most provocative moments, a scene dripping in luxury and sensuality. DeMille also pushes limits with the Dance of the Veiled Moon, where Joyce Joyner's Encaria performs for the pleasure of Roman elites. Yet the film is not just about sexual display. DeMille stages gladiatorial combat with showmanship, unleashing Amazons, wild beasts, and even alligators on hapless victims in the Circus Maximus. Despite controversy, DeMille enjoyed the challenge from the Hays office. Though he claimed no cuts were made, the 1944 reissue added a heavy-handed prologue comparing Nero's tyranny to Hitler, showing how history is often used to reflect contemporary fears. The Sign of the Cross is a testament to DeMille's flair for controversy and his genius in making sin look spectacular. 3 on a Match, 1932. Mervyn Leroy's 3 on a Match delivers a gripping, fast-paced look at urban America through the intersecting lives of 3 childhood friends. Joan Blondell, Betty Davis, and Anne Dvorak portray women with vastly different destinies. It is Dvorak's descent into addiction and crime that gives the film its intense impact. The story begins with a superstition, the curse of 3 people lighting a cigarette from the same match, which sets off a chain of moral and physical disasters, thrilling even noir aficionados. As Dvorak's character, consumed by vice, encounters gangsters, including a young Humphrey Bogart, the film portrays kidnapping, drug use, and adultery unflinchingly. While censors would later clamp down on such frank content, 3 on a Match was allowed to pass, perhaps because characters ultimately face consequences. Its relentless pace and gritty realism provide a blueprint for future crime dramas and exemplify the brief moment when Hollywood dared to show life unfiltered. Red-Headed Woman, 1932, is sheer, unrestrained entertainment, turning the gold-digging homewrecker into an American anti-heroine. Jean Harlow, radiant in her platinum blonde devil-may-care persona, plays Lil Andrews, a small-town secretary whose ambitions are squarely aimed at her married boss and his fortune. F. Scott Fitzgerald struggled to adapt Catherine Brush's scandalous novel, but Anita Loos captured Lil's character perfectly, infusing her with sharp wit. Lil is unapologetically cunning, leveraging her charm, desirability, and intellect to get what she wants. In a pre-code world, Lil seduces, manipulates, and even shoots her husband, yet escapes punishment, sailing to Europe for new adventures. Hollywood rarely allowed such women to triumph, but red-headed woman makes no excuses. Harlow's charisma turns her into both a seductress and a comedic genius, while casting rumors swirled around Clara Bow and Greta Garbo. Ultimately, Harlow cements Lil as an icon of female agency and mischief. Employee's entrance, 1933. Set amid the ruthless corridors of a New York department store, Employee's entrance is as unforgiving as pre-code drama gets. Warren William, the era's master of CAD roles, plays Kurt Anderson, a merciless store manager who believes the ends justify the means, especially regarding his employees' lives and loves. His pursuit of the vulnerable Meline, played by Loretta Young, is chilling, highlighting abuse of power that resonates today. Yet the film is more than predation. It critiques unchecked capitalism and corporate cruelty, themes surprisingly modern. With sharp dialogue and relentless pacing, Williams' performance is superb, while Meline evokes sympathy with her innocence and struggle. Alongside films like Female, 1933, Employee's entrance challenges who truly wins in the marketplace, refusing neat resolutions, a reason it endures as a pre-code classic. Murders in the Zoo, 1933, with its lurid plot and shocking sequences, is one of pre-code horror's most disturbing entries. Lionel Atwill captivates as Eric Gorman, a jealous big-game hunter who sews a rival's lips shut in a scene still chilling today. Paramount's answer to Universal's monster films, the movie thrives on its Art Deco settings and dark atmosphere. Gorman's violence extends to unleashing wild animals on his enemies, while his trophy wife becomes both object and pawn. The climax, a frenzy of big cats, alligators, and terrified partygoers, is an early horror spectacle. Comic relief by Charles Ruggles falls flat, but the rest remains taut and genuinely frightening. Murders in the Zoo shows just how far Hollywood pushed boundaries before the code and proves horror's role in exploring real fears safely. Gabriel over the White House, 1933, embodies the anything-goes energy of early 1930s cinema. Walter Houston plays President Judson Hammond, who, after a near-death experience and a ghostly vision, becomes a strongman leader ready to crush corruption. Backed by media mogul William Randolph Hearst, the film teeters between New Deal hope and totalitarian fantasy. Hammond shuts Congress, executes criminals without trial, and pressures foreign leaders, all for the supposed greater good. MGM head Louis B. Mayer, a Republican, was disturbed by the proto-fascist themes, yet audiences, hungry for decisive leadership, embraced it. Despite objections from the Hayes office, the film survived largely intact, a rare Hollywood endorsement of autocratic power and a reflection of Depression-era anxieties. The Story of Temple Drake, 1933. No other pre-code film courted as much controversy. Adapted from William Faulkner's Sanctuary, it was deemed unfilmable by censors for its themes of rape, murder, and a Southern belle's downfall. Miriam Hopkins delivers a layered performance as Temple, a thrill-seeking socialite ensnared by violence after a chance encounter. Her descent into a grim underworld is chilling, and director Stephen Roberts uses close-ups and off-screen screams to imply horror without graphic violence. Even today, the film's gender politics and ambiguous morality unsettle viewers, reflecting complex attitudes toward female desire and agency. Released at the tail end of the pre-code era, it's a landmark that exposed society's darkest corners and hastened code enforcement. Babyface, 1933. Barbara Stanwyck's Lily Powers is arguably pre-code Hollywood's most audacious anti-heroine. Raised by an abusive father in a speakeasy, Lily climbs the corporate ladder by manipulating men, unapologetically using her sexuality to reach the top of a New York bank. The film is notable for its bold execution. Lily's friend Chico, a black woman, is more than a sidekick, representing rare camaraderie across race and class. Censors demanded Lily face punishment, leading to a modified ending. Yet Stanwyck's performance, sharp dialogue, and unapologetic attitude toward female desire keep the film provocative and timeless, a feminist Rochian delight. Wild Boys of the Road, 1933. William A. Wellman captures the desperation and resilience of youth during the Great Depression. Following Frankie Darro and Edwin Phillips, teens forced to ride the rails seeking work and dignity, the film's episodic journey exposes dangers, abuse, predatory adults, and hunger. Wellman portrays hardship realistically while highlighting the bonds formed in adversity. Unlike other films, it neither glamorizes poverty nor punishes its characters, indicting a system that fails the vulnerable. The climactic courtroom scene, where a sympathetic judge offers aid, is moving without sentimentality. Alongside Heroes for Sale, 1933, it remains a cornerstone of American social drama, reflecting the era's spirit and resilience. Scarface, 1932. Howard Hawks' Scarface, with Paul Muni as the ruthless Tony Camonte, defines the pre-code gangster genre. The film's unprecedented violence and moral ambiguity forced audiences to root for an unrepentant criminal. Hawks and Howard Hughes didn't glorify crime. They challenged viewers with a villain whose ambition and immorality were boundless. Extreme violence and iconic motifs delayed release amid censorship battles. Beyond shootouts, the film critiques gangster culture and societal complicity. Its intensity, pacing, and wit influenced later classics from The Godfather to Goodfellas. Despite censorship, Scarface survives as both historical record and timeless warning, a pre-code essential. Freaks, 1932. Todd Browning's Freaks is perhaps the most infamous pre-code outlier, banned in the UK for over 30 years. Browning, with circus experience, cast real sideshow performers as sympathetic characters. The plot, a love triangle evolving into brutal revenge, explores difference and cruelty empathetically. Olga Baklanova's con artist learns the freaks are resourceful and united. The climactic justice scene is shocking, but Browning's real achievement is indicting normal society as monstrous. Initially rejected, Freaks now stands as a bold, compassionate, unique cinematic work. Night Nurse, 1931. Few films capture pre-code daring like Night Nurse. Barbara Stanwyck stars as a resourceful nurse who, with Joan Blondell, uncovers a plot against two wealthy children involving a menacing chauffeur played by a young Clark Gable. The brisk, unsentimental story moves from hospitals to bootlegging dens, featuring murder, alcoholism, child abuse, and secret romance. Stanwyck's fearless performance sets a standard for cinematic women, and the film's critique of the elite is pointed. Night Nurse is a thrilling, energetic showcase of early 1930s Hollywood. Trouble in Paradise, 1932, is the pinnacle of pre-code romantic comedy. Ernst Lubitsch's elegant story of two con artists, Herbert Marshall and Miriam Hopkins, whose schemes are complicated by love and attraction, brims with sly glances, innuendo, and sparkling dialogue. Characters escape punishment, and cleverness is celebrated. Lubitsch's subtle direction, closed doors, timed fades, and dialogue that says everything while revealing little, creates a sophisticated world where pleasure and wit reign. Banned after code enforcement, it remains the gold standard of adult romantic comedy. She Done Him Wrong, 1933. Mae West's larger-than-life persona shines in She Done Him Wrong, epitomizing pre-code raucousness and body-positive spirit. As Lady Lou, a diamond-adorned nightclub singer, West delights in double entendre and mischief. Set in the lawless Bowery of the 1890s, it is filled with brawls, stolen diamonds, and intrigue. West delivers every line with sly confidence, while Carole Lombard plays the straight character caught in her orbit. West wrote the script herself, adapting her play, and imbued Lou with subversive, empowering desire. A box office hit, it helped Paramount survive bankruptcy. Today, West's audacity remains revolutionary, a fitting finale to any pre-code marathon. Which of these bold films will you explore first? Share your favorites in the comments, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes glimpses at Hollywood's glittering past. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more cinematic adventures.